Hey Shadestalkers, this is Rank Dog again. I'm going to make a brief video because the last couple have been a little long-winded regarding a boss fight. So this is just kind of follow-up. We've had some people move into Group 2 recently, Cold Shadows, Etherlight, and it looks like Beast is moving here either tomorrow or the next day. I just want to say congratulations to y'all. I'm proud of you. Glad to see you make the progress. Glad to see you make the jump. You make our guild better. So with that, I just wanted to talk about a concept that we've been chatting about a bunch in guild chat, or line chat rather. And it's how to monitor exactly how much damage you're doing on a boss fight. And this is really important because um, you're going to try to extend your cycle by knowing how much damage you can do within a short period of time, and I'll cover that in a few minutes. Also, for those that are breaking into Group 2 or close to breaking into Group 2 or doing some kind of a split damage scenario, I want you to be cognizant of the amount of damage you're doing and being able to monitor it and plan better. So first thing I want you to look here and notice is I've done a screenshot or a capture of a boss fight. I just took it off of one of the YouTube videos to give you an idea here. And so you have the health bar here on boss, and you know it's here in red, and you notice that it's broken down into 5 segments. That's important to know because the boss has 120 million damage, or sorry, 120 million health. So basically here you got 5 segments, 120 million health. So you take that 120 million health and divide it by 5, and you get 24 million. So each one of these little segments here, demarcated by the line here, is 24 million. So we know that you need 36 million to get full honor badge payout on the boss. So to get 36 million, you're going to basically need to decrement the health bar by 1.5 segments. In other words, do 1.5 segments worth of damage on the boss, and that's what when you have achieved the maximum amount of damage you need to get the maximum amount of honor badges. That's important to know if you're trying to limit the amount of damage you're doing if you're in Group 1, or in thinking that you're going to be moving into Group 2. So this will give you a way to regulate it. Okay, so the next concept I wanted to talk about in regards to this involves Group 2, and it's the evolution of, okay, I'm in Group 2 and I'm able to get max honor badges every day. I'm happy, I'm giddy. So now it's time to look at ways that we can help out Group 1 and extend the amount of time that they have to get their damage in. So basically, once you start your boss cycle, whatever damage you do during that once you've hit the button to challenge, there's a button that says challenge. Once you hit challenge and you enter the boss field and you see that 30-second timer tick down, and then once the 30 seconds starts, you got the 3-minute timer that ticks down. Once you get to that point, whatever damage you do within that 3 minutes and 30 seconds is what you're going to get credit for. So if I go into boss fight and it's looking kind of hairy, it looks like someone's going to pop off at, say, 50 million or 55 million, it's okay to join at that point in time to save yourself worrying about a drop point, and just let your timer tick down and then get your drop in. The reason, or the only way you're going to make this work though, is step 1, getting a consistent first drop stun train every time. That means every time you go in, you have your drop order ready to go, you drop them, get your stun going, and you don't need 2 or 3 attempts. You only need a single attempt every day to get the boss going. Alright, when you get to that point, you're ready to move into step 2. And step 2 basically is you look at the damage you're doing, and like I said up here, 1.5 segments, equals 36 million, regardless of how much damage is left on the boss. Well, of course you have to have more than 1/2 segments, but if you have 2 or 3 or 2.5, it should only be right around 2 if you're coming in at boss, because 2 equals what, 48 million damage. So if you're coming in around 50 million, there should be just over 2 segments on this boss. So what I would like you to do is calculate how much time it takes you to get 36 million or 1.5 segments decremented on the boss. How long it takes you to deal 36 million damage. Okay, so once you've completed step 1 and step 2, you're ready to go to step 3, and that's basically learn how to extend a boss cycle by letting the time trickle down. And what I mean by that is you come in, you let the 30 seconds tick off before you do your drop. You should be doing that anyway, unless you're really confident about getting your drop in. You let your 36 seconds tick off, and then from there you start the 3-minute timer. Figure out, say you only need 2.5 or 1.5 minute to, or 1 minute 30 seconds to get your 36 million damage in. You wait till the clock ticks down to about 1 minute 45 seconds, so you have that 15-second barrier in case one of your heroes dies that you weren't expecting or whatnot. And then you do your drop, and you just let it run the cycle. That basically makes it so that you're running the full 3-minute cycle. So if you drop at 50 million or 45 million or whatever your point of your drop point is as far as the damage, you're going to get your full 36 million damage in and still ride the entire, or close to the entire 3-minute cycle. That if every one of us drops at say 50 million in group 2 and we all take the 3-minute cycle, you're basically giving group 1 a full 3 minutes or 3 minutes and 30 seconds on top of whatever time that they, whatever damage that they've already done to get to that point. You're giving them extra time to do that. Now I've calculated on an average group 1, if no one's busting out, they're going to do about 10 million every minute or so, collectively as a group. So basically you're giving them another 30 million damage to their damage pool, or thereabouts, the 35 million, for these guys to get their damage in, and that's key. So if we can get everybody doing this, that's the next evolution. Okay, so for example, when I go into a boss fight, I'm fairly confident that once I drop my heroes, I'm in good shape. I basically do a druid drop. You can see the previous videos that I've done. It's very consistent. What I do is I drop druid, and then as soon as boss breaks out of his first stun and whacks my druid, I drop GA. And there, by time GA is done, everybody's ramped up and just cranking away at the boss. That's what works for me personally. Everybody has their own thing. Because I'm confident that I can do the stun train first time every time, I know that I need about 45 seconds to get 36 million damage in. And it probably would be less, but you have that interval while you're ramping up that takes 20 seconds or so to get fully ramped up. And then it takes me an additional 25 seconds, and there is really no, it's either you either get 36 million in or you're going to get significantly less, because once you need that full 20 seconds to ramp up. That's about as close as I can cut it, is 45 seconds. Now I may get better as I get some revites worked into that, but so what I try to do is basically wait for the clock to wind down to about a minute, and then I let it ride. And usually I'm going to I'm going to get my 36 million, and usually I'm going to get more than that, simply because where I start my drop point at is, I try to get as far under 50 million as possible. Now lately I have to take what's there because of the breakout factor. Anyways, that's all I have. I hope you got something out of this, and hit me up if you have any questions. Have a good day.